Welcome back to SwitchStars, Luke here, and upon browsing the Switch eShop today, I noticed two sausage-themed games had been added, which I thought rather curious. And so today on the channel we're going to be taking a look at these two to see if they're worth your time and cash, or whether or not they should be Savaloyded at all costs. Before we get started though, did you know that currently only 16% of my views actually come from subscribers, and I'd love to hit that 10k subs mark by the end of the year, so if you watch and enjoy my content, consider subscribing. Now both Run Sausage Run and Sausage Wars are ports of mobile games from developer Crazy Labs, and to start with we're going to be taking a look at Run Sausage Run. When you first drop into the game though, I recommend heading into the options and muting the music, as it's on about a 15-second loop, and it's one of those tunes which is guaranteed to drive you absolutely insane. Checking out the game's modes though, first off we have single player, and this operates like most simple mobile games, having you work through level after level, earning coins which can then be spent to unlock new costumes for your sausage, as well as a bunch of different characters. The gameplay itself though is extremely simple, with the objective being to work your way to the end of the level in one piece, and you only have one button to worry about, which turns your sausage stroll into a sausage run. Throughout the levels you'll encounter different kinds of hazards primed to mash you, smash you, slice you and burn you, and you simply need to avoid these to get to the end point. Now I played around 30 levels, and while the game cycles through 3 different areas and slowly introduces new types of hazards, many of these are just reskinned versions of previous ones, so the variety isn't great, and the levels themselves are always randomly generated, so the difficulty of them is also pretty inconsistent. There are also power-ups to grabbing levels, both positive and negative, which includes ones that freeze the hazards, give you body armour in the form of hot dog buns, or shrink and grow the size of your sausage, misses, but the levels are relatively short and the length of them doesn't seem to change, so these power-ups prove to be of very little use. Overall, the single player mode isn't much to talk about to be honest, but that brings us on to the other modes which actually fare much better. Firstly, you have survival mode, which is exactly as you'd expect, an endless level where the objective is to survive as long as possible, and while it doesn't really seem all that difficult, it does have online leaderboards to compete in, which at least offers one reason for repeat plays. The real meat with this one though is most definitely the game's multiplayer modes, which offer both 4-player split screen and 8-player shared screen. The 8-player shared screen is called Panic Race, and this is a kind of last man standing mode where you get one life to make it to the end alive, with higher amounts of points awarded to those who survive the longest. The second 4-player split screen mode is Sausage Race, where again you have to race to the finish line, but in this mode you have unlimited lives. All in all though, while Run Sausage Run's single player modes aren't much to write home about, I could actually see its 2 multiplayer modes offering a decent amount of fun if you're putting together a games night, perhaps after copious amounts of alcohol have been consumed. So the second of our 2 games is Sausage Wars, and this one is an arena-based brawler. Much like Run Sausage Run, this one comes with both single player and multiplayer modes, but the game's campaign mode is pretty much identical to all of the other modes in terms of its basic gameplay mechanics, and instead of having any kind of levels, it just has you fighting sets of bots, endlessly it seems, across a series of randomly selected stages. The premise of this one though is simple. Be the last sausage standing and use your sausage headbutt to smack your opponents off the edge of the arena or into hazards scattered about its premises. Again, the controls are also extremely simple, requiring you to stop running to unleash your headbutt in the direction you're facing, or alternatively hit the B button, and as you rack up the kills your sausage will engorge, reducing your movement speed, but from what I can tell also increasing the amount of knockback you deliver. Now the game's custom mode is another single player battle mode, which instead of being completely random allows you to set up your own matches, selecting the arena, number of bots and rounds, and this one comes with 2 game modes, those being Last Sausage where there are no respawns and it's last sausage standing, and Arena mode, which is a timed game mode allowing for respawns where you need to rack up as many kills as possible. And this mode also includes a couple of power-ups, the first one making your sausage flail around in a circle like you do in the helicopter, and the second sees you shitting fireballs out behind you. Both of these game modes can also be played in the game's multiplayer mode, which supports up to 4-player split screen. And in addition to Last Sausage and Arena, multiplayer also features Team mode, whereby each player selects a team colour, allowing you to battle 2 on 2 or 1 on 3 if you're that way inclined. Overall, while the gameplay is super simple and could do with a few more power-ups, the level layouts appear to be randomly generated, making for plenty of variety, and the gameplay itself is actually pretty enjoyable. As is the case with Run Sausage Run though, I could definitely see Sausage Wars being a laugh while hosting a party night, and I enjoyed the visual aesthetic of both games, though the music in Sausage Wars was much more bearable. When all said and done though, so far as mobile ports go, these 2 games are relatively decent in terms of the content on offer, and while I wouldn't say they were worth it for the full $4.99 asking price, they're currently on sale for $1, and for that price I'd say they're definitely worth picking up, if only to give them a blast for an hour or so on a games night. I think the simplicity of the gameplay and the single button control scheme though also makes them very accessible, and this coupled with the cartoony violence, which it should be noted can also be toggled off in the options menu, makes them ideal for the kids to play. So if you're looking for something to keep them quiet for a while, which also promotes a spot of competitive goodness, these 2 games may be just the ticket. When it comes to a rating, I'm going to be giving both games 3 out of 5 stars. I have to admit, while I wasn't expecting much, I was quite surprised by what these 2 games had to offer. They're by no means hidden gems, but I do think the multiplayer aspects of them have the potential to provide plenty of laughs, and I may even whip out a sausage or 2 myself next time I get a few friends around. With that said though, after seeing this review, will you be picking any of these ones up? And if you already have, what did you think? Let me know down in the comments section below. As always, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Switch reviews and content, and until next time, thanks once again for watching, take care, and game on.